Almost 9 years ago, I posted a video showcasing how to achieve the max double shotgun rank in Black Ops 2 Zombies. At the time, I was making new accounts almost weekly, maxing them out and selling them to people for like 20 bucks. That video's success catapulted me to where this channel is today, so I figured, you know what, it's time to run it back. Let's speedrun getting max rank on a brand new account, but with some extra spice. I'm going to be aiming for round 50 on every featured Zombies map, plus a bonus round 100 sprinkled in on top of that. This turned into one of the longest challenges I've ever done and some of the wildest twists near the end that I've never seen before. Like the video if you do enjoy, and comment your favorite BO2 Zombies map from back in the day. Subscribing is also great, thank you. While I'm explaining how the Black Ops 2 rank system works, let's start out our first map, Buried. Look man, this is a long challenge, I gotta ease into it with a map I know we won't struggle with too much. So let's cover the basics. How do you actually get to max shotgun rank? Well, it's all about skills, not kills. Through a lot of testing back in the day, I figured out that it's all about your rounds to downs ratio. When starting a new account, if you take 2 downs in each of your games and each of those games lasts until round 10, then you'll have a ratio of 5. That will place you in the category to get the skull rank. Taking 1 down per 10 rounds will set you up for the knife rank. Then finally a ratio of 1 down every 15 rounds will earn a shotguns rank. Those rounds that you play and the downs are the only thing that matters, since the relaxing end proved that you can actually do this with 0 kills back in the day. You then need to play a certain number of games to be eligible for a rank up on a new account. I believe you need to play about 30 games total or something like that, I'm not sure on the exact amount, but tally marks and the blue eyes don't matter at all, those are just tied to the number of days that you played in a row. Now you know how the ranking system works in Black Ops 2 after only 10 years, yay. Now we can join back up on Buried at round 18, where I've already got the Pack-a-Punch ray gun and the hammer, but I kinda want the Mark II, so let's spin the mystery box a little bit. Well, I was actually given the paralyzer, and I'm not going to use it initially, but we can't afford too many errors in this challenge, so I'd take it reluctantly for the next few rounds at the least. I accidentally swapped it out while spinning for the Mark II, but oh well, we keep going, and eventually I got it at the end of round 20. We aren't going to be pack-punching it yet though, since it basically does the same amount of damage unupgraded anyway. We just need to blow through some rounds as quick as we can by hanging out in front of the Juggernaut area, and wait, what am I doing? Why am I headed to Pack-a-Punch? I don't need to upgrade anything. I guess I'm not very good at following my own advice, am I, huh? I'm assuming I did this because I was live streaming and the conversation with Chad was taking up too much of my brain power and I wouldn't complete NPC mode. Remember kids, use your brain and use it to do stuff like checking out. Great, we're back, and since we have some good weapons, it's finally actually time to get through some rounds quickly. Just like pretty much everyone else, I was hanging out in the Juggernaut corner and trying to tap some heads with the hammer while trying to manage my ammo. You never realize just how much ammo you need to get through a round until you look down and go, oh yeah, right, I should probably have some of that and keep a hold of it. Even the little ammo drops from the Vulture's aid doesn't help that much, it was just a big old sag. That's why on round 30, Chad bullied me into building the AN-94 wall buy and going to upgrade it. Honestly, I don't think I built any of the wall buys in Buried in years, since most of the time my high rounding is spent with the Sonic Resonator or the Paralyzer. Rarely, if ever, am I actually using anything besides a few of the wonder weapons, so it actually felt kinda nice. Back at our regular spot, I was kind of starting to realize why I stopped using the AN-94 in the first place, and it's because it's actually not that great. It's okay, but in fairness to it, I guess, we are on round 33, but man, I remember it being so good and killing zombies with 2 or 3 shots up until almost round 40, but I guess that's just nostalgia talking a little bit. I even took my first down of this challenge on 38 when I left my corner and got back up in a wave of newly spawning zombies. My controller also didn't have the monkey bomb key binding correctly, so we were lucky to make it out and without gaming over. Don't worry, I do fix that for later on, and you'll find out. After getting my perks back and losing a few minutes to that, I was just trying to power through the last of these rounds. In my haste though, and with the AN-94 not really keeping up very well, I took my 3rd down on round 42, and even though I made it out alive again, it was kind of a wake-up call. I was going to need the Paralyzer as much as I didn't want to use it. Thankfully it only took a couple of spins of the mystery box to get it back, and after buying all my perks one last time without any more quick revives, we're just going to need to finish the game off. If you're wondering, the reason I didn't want the Paralyzer is because it kills slowly and it creates a delay for new zombies to spawn in, slowing down our in-game time. At the same time though, losing our first match of this late would have been a heartbreaker, so it really was a necessary evil, and after 2 hours and 15 minutes we were done with Buried and ranked up for the first time to our Crossbones rank. Now that we're done with the easiest map though, let's tackle the hardest one, Tranzit. Might as well rip the band-aid off now, huh? So I was able to shove about 150,000 points into the bank vault on Buried. That means we can get ourselves kitted out earlier than than normal for this game. I headed out to spawn and through the fog so I could jump across this side of the lava so that I don't take it down, and entered the town area. With a few points that I had on hand already, I used the turbine to purchase some Juggernog, which immediately turned back off because there's no power source. I did the same thing with the stamina up machine, and after taking just a few points from the Bank of Luke, it was time to head back through the fog once again and reach the power station. Unsurprisingly, my first and most important objective was to turn the power on so my Juggernog actually worked and gave me some level of security. Once that's good, I headed through a denizen portal back to the spawn area to purchase some more quick revives, since you know that might be a little bit important in case of some mistakes. I'm already a mistake, so no need to have any more. After enough cardio to tire out an Olympian, it was time to spin the mystery box and ideally get either the ray gun or the Mark II. Also, yes, I refused to build the jet gun because categorically I hate that thing and it can rot in the dirt. Well, no luck this time, but somehow I ended up with the hammer again, which is better than a thumb in the eyes, I guess. More running for multiple minutes later brings me to the power station again, since this is where the mystery box ended up, and I kind of don't think that this hammer is going to last until around 50. Of course, we don't get anything good from the mystery box and it moves over to the farm area, so like a good little soldier, I go and follow. During an insta-kill, I went all smooth brain and actually took it down. After getting back up, a zombie windmilled me for the game over, meaning that we just wasted 30 minutes. Oh well, I started another game, and let's get back to roughly where we were. This time while spinning the mystery box, I actually got given the original ray gun on round 14, which is basically as good as I could have hoped for. Getting the ray gun Mark II is almost impossible on some of these maps, and spending more time running around Tranzit to only get the SMR sounds like an absolute nightmare. It's time to do our one pack-a-punch of the game though, so I headed back to spawn for a new wind turbine. While there, I ran around some more and eventually got around to actually opening it up on round 19. I left 2 zombies, put the turbine down, and sprinted as fast as I could, hoping they wouldn't take it out before getting to the town area. Luckily, those zombies did leave it alone, and it's time for the good old duo of the ray gun plus Mustang and Sally. Some things never go out of style. Now Luke, what's the strategy for the rest of this game? Great question, because it's not where you typically see people run circles. The tunnel is too big for me and the zombies take forever to spawn, so I'm gonna rule that out. The other in front of the farm area is horrible to look at with so much fog and green light. I promise you that you don't want to look at it for the next few minutes, so I chose the diner area. This is a little slower, but I'm willing to make that sacrifice for the sake of your beautiful eyes. Once I got settled in here too, things were going really well actually. Ammo was a little light since if we didn't get a max ammo for a while, the Mustang and Sally needed to come out, but for the most part we were cruising along. Even into the mid-40s, there wasn't any downs despite a few close calls. Tranzit was going way better than I could have ever hoped, even for that crappy game over wasting 30 minutes. Just like that, we finished the hardest map of the challenge, and we're only at about 5 hours of game time so far, plus we ranked up to the skull, showing we're already making some good progress. Die rise time, and no, this isn't where we're doing the round 100 because that would be such a cop-out, and I wanted to do something a little spicier for all of you. No need for the trample steam this time, so I took the elevator down and used my tax evasion funds to help me get things done a little quicker. I of course built the Sliquifier because die rise without it makes my will to die rise. Then strictly for the memes, it was time to upgrade the Olympia. Don't look at me like that, the fire bolts are cool as hell and no one will tell me otherwise. After a few minutes it was Jumpy Jeff time and they gave me Mule Kick, which is something I will never use. Thanks game, love you too. With not much else left to do and not wanting to waste time waiting for the quick revive elevator to come back down, I was going to head down to my camping spot and oh, okay. Can't say that has happened in a few years. Let's try that again, shall we? So as same as the last time, I used the bank to smuggle some cash through my holes, built the Sliquifier, and actually bought the Remington shotgun this time to upgrade. I haven't used it in years because honestly, it's always in weird corners of the map it feels like, and you're never really gonna go to those areas very often. It's also just not very strong either, which kind of defeats its entire purpose. Anyway, I did get quick revive this time and was actually careful when going down the elevator shaft to make sure I didn't game over. A few rounds later, while still messing around with the Remington, the Hoppy Boys gave me a Who's Who, which I will say this every time it's brought up, it has the most banging jingle of any perk ever made. But from here you kinda know what happens, so let's skip all the way to the end of round 44. That was just straight up depressing, but because Who's Who is sometimes a really good perk, I was able to run around for a minute and then spawn back in the elevator with 4 of my perks again. We're just going to need to be careful for the next few rounds, and this does give all of us some valuable life advice. If your friend ever says that the Remington is good, you slap them and report their behavior to the FBI. Shortly after this, Die Rise is finished with me spending the last round in the Buddha room so I can deposit my gun in the fridge for later and some of my perks back into the bank vault for a rainy day. Now this is where we are going to do the round 100. I've only ever gone there on Origins twice and that was with a lot of luck involved, but let's try to make it 3. Once I had enough points to leave the spawn area, I went through the generator 2 side because that's where the mystery box is and began looking around for ice staff pieces. Sadly I came up empty in the last area and round 4 was not a snowy round, meaning we're going to need to wait until round 10 for the ice staff. No worries though, as I was wanting to actually make the wind staff as well, so let's start on that one. While this is all going on, I grabbed Juggernog because I really don't want another restart on this game and built the shield as well. Quick Revive is next because the first Panzer on round 8 is always the scariest, especially since I don't have a staff yet to batter him around. Lucky for me though, I ended up spinning the mystery box a few times and was rewarded with the severely underrated Scar H, which has only been available on Origins one time. Not even in the Zombies Chronicles remaster does it show up, but with the help of some extra double tap, Poppy Panzer went down like a sack of bricks in less than a full magazine. Plus right after this, I grabbed the last wind staff part, which means things were chugging along pretty well actually. Until I had a stroke at least, and completely forgot pretty much everything I needed to do, wasting multiple minutes running back and forth for absolutely no reason. Once my brain finally recovered, I was able to finish the upgrade path for the wind staff and placed it in the pedestal to start getting kills. No sense in waiting since there won't be snow until the next round anyway, so we spent round 9 in the crazy place and got our upgraded wind staff. If you're wondering why I'm getting this one, it's because on higher rounds, only the wind and the ice staff can kill zombies. Technically the fire staff can as well, but that causes crashes beginning in the 60s. So you primarily use the ice staff, and if you run out of ammo, then whip out the wind staff to finish out the round or hopefully force out a max ammo. Eventually though, I did get my last ice staff piece, went through upgrading it plus my Scar H and went back to the crazy place for a few more kills. By round 11 we were pretty much done setting up for the game with our guns, but perks was kind of a different story. I wanted to get all of the red perk slots just in case we had some unfortunate downs later in the game, and it'll slow us down for now, but it'll help us get further and I'm willing to take that risk. Down to the first one right away luckily enough, but then I actually struggled over the next dozen rounds or so since the spots kept being in somewhat obscure areas I don't typically see too often when running through this setup. Then for the memes, I used my old camping strategy at Generator 4 just to have some fun. It's actually not that slow, but it wastes a bunch of unnecessary ammo because there's no zombies that spawn directly inside of the circle. And on round 27, I found the last perk spot, which means it's time to buy Quick Revive and go to our actual camping spot for the game behind Generator 2. Some of you have probably seen this strategy before, some of you haven't, but I'll explain it anyway. This spot is great because it covers a ton of spawn points directly on top and near zombie spawn points, which means it's quicker rounds and less wasted ammo. Oh yeah, right, I also got grabbed by a Panzer and he actually downed me. What a great person who I admire a lot and is a fun game mechanic. The Panzer is just so good. After spending a few minutes getting my perks back, we're once again back to our spot, and let me finish explaining it. The reason that you'll also see me pull out claymores after most shots is because with it out, the zombies have a faster death time and a faster death animation. Black Ops 2 will see those zombies as being killed by explosives rather than the staff. Explosive animations are faster than the whole freeze and fall backwards thing that you normally see with the ice staff. So basically you're tricking the game and making your runs faster and safer. Sometimes I do mess it up because the timing is really precise since the ice staff shot only lasts a few seconds plus the claymore, and it's a lot to keep track of for me. Now we can skip a ton of rounds because not really much happens other than me not getting 8 perks, which was just a decision to save time. I'm not using Deadshot, Electric Cherry, or Mule Kick anyway, so no point in wasting time on getting them. I also forgot to mention this, but the reason you don't get Electric Cherry is because it can also cause crashes sometimes, but mostly it's because it can screw you over when getting back up from downs. The zombies will stand near you a lot of the time and can make you game over really quickly, so we just kind of avoid that. Origins is a really funky ass map sometimes. Right, here we are, the funny number round, let's go, round 69, it's so funny. Then on a less funny number round of 76, I actually ran out of ammo in my ice staff for the first time, so I took my full horde and headed over for the excavation site where the wind staff do be at. There was only a few hordes left in the round luckily, and starting up 77, I got the max ammo I was needing right away plus a zombie blood to help me escape with no worries at all. Round 84 was not as lucky since I forgot to actually grab the insta-kill in front of me thinking I already had one active. This was just a total brain fart honestly and led to another down. With some careful planning, I got back most of my perks within a few minutes, but now there's no quick revive machine and I need to rely on the 2% chance of getting it back from the Wonder Fizz, which always just is so much fun, especially with a full horde of zombies behind me. This time it only took me about 15 minutes and 50,000 points, which isn't too bad actually, but now I have no ammo in my ice staff. Back to the excavation site we go, I guess, and you'll never believe it, but I didn't get a max ammo here either and used all the ammo in that too. I didn't want to have to use it yet, but from the challenge chest I can get a max ammo, so it had to be used. Saving it for the 90s really would have been ideal, and now I'm kind of worried this game is going to be rough from here on out. Almost as if that was foreshadowing, on round 87 I ran out of ammo completely again and needed to use the tank to kill some zombies. This went well for the first few tries, but then I screwed up and ran myself over with it. Time to get perks again, and this time without any ammo, because this one wind staff shot I needed to save for the next round, well, I needed to use it to get out of a corner. And then I spent the next 90 minutes and 250,000 points on not getting quick revive. Yes, I am able to get a quick revive here if you're wondering, I just had insanely terrible luck. I even got so frustrated that I used the tank to reach round 88 before spitting the Wonder Fizz a little bit more. Eventually I just gave up entirely on getting quick revive, and without any ammo to force a drop of some kind, I was definitely feeling the pressure. Then almost as if it was fate, the tank ran me over again, ending our Origins run at round 88. I'm not doing that again, and the worst part is we didn't even rank up. Literally right after that game ended though, I jumped into a Mob of the Dead match. It was your typical affair with me starting the dog heads as early as possible since we're going to need that upgraded tomahawk later on. Then obviously I opened up some more of the map and grabbing the AK-47 from the mystery box because heck no, I am not passing up on that. I love me a good AK, and it's the only time it's been in zombies besides Cold War, so I'm gonna take advantage of it. There was even another ray gun, which I swear I'm not cheating. This whole run just had insane luck with getting it almost every single match. By round 7 I had Juggy Wuggy and began working on the second dog head. It's such a shame Blood of the Dead actually ended up being a not great map because Mob is starting to get a little bit old and could really benefit from some of the more modern features of zombies. Stuff like the 3-hit down, a health cap to make the Blundergat actually useful on high rounds, and even the parachutes for more escape routes because there's so much verticality with Mob of the Dead. I don't know, maybe I sound crazy, but does anyone else agree? I finally finished the dogs on round 11 and opened up the roof before heading down to grab our tomahawk, and this is where things actually got weird. Remember I said my special grenade button wasn't binding correctly? Well, in trying to fix this, somehow my controller stopped working at all. Nothing I did would fix this, and I'm terrible at keyboard and mouse, so this was essentially a game over. In all my time playing Black Ops 2 on PC, this only ever happened to me one other time, and the only way to fix it was to restart my whole computer. So let's join back in the next game at about the same time, and I've already pretty much got the upgraded tomahawk done. Seriously, I have no idea how the bridge area doesn't give people seizures. With the max number of Brutus spawned in plus the flashes of light, it gives me an instant headache and I just can't stand it. Alright, I've also got the Asagat upgraded this time and was lucky enough to get the AK-47 back. And until about round 25, I just hung out wherever using that AK since it's really fun until I got forced into the cafeteria and using the Asagat plus tomahawk to get through some rounds. I always forget how slow high rounds are on Mob every single time I play it, and here I forgot to start the timer again for a while, but don't worry, I went back through the footage and added the extra time which I missed, which is like 45 minutes. Speaking of the timer, I haven't mentioned this much, but no, it's not a global timer. This is how long I've spent in-game unpaused on this challenge so far, which is a lot of zombies to play in only a few days. I actually checked, and at one point I was playing on average about 8 hours per day, which is just painful, especially when you see what happens in a little bit. Back to the game though, aside from it being painfully slow, Mob of the Dead went by really easily, with me only taking one down the whole game, and I believe that was really early on, so it didn't cost me much time at all. Nuketown is next, and we still haven't ranked up to the knife, which is just downright painful. Apparently I just have an affinity for getting the map exclusive guns because right away I was given the M27, and man, I miss this thing so much. It's so satisfying to use. I wish it was featured in more maps in Nuketown because using it on something like Town or Origins would have just been chef's kiss amazing. Just because we had a good gun though doesn't mean the rest of the luck was good, with me not getting Juggernog for a really long time. It was taking its sweet ass time to spawn in for me. I even took an unfortunate down on round 10 by getting stuck on the edge of a rock, but I thought ahead and actually had quick revive this time. And at the start of round 16, Jug finally came home like my dad never did, and following this I immediately pack punched my M1911 because they'll be really good for insta kills later on. Then I upgraded the M27 and just, oh look at this, oh my lord, it's so buttery smooth, I could watch that all day. Before I need to change my pants, let's move past that to round 32, where sadly I do need to swap it out. Like I said, the damage numbers aren't great on it, and we're going to need either of the two ray guns to help us get through these rounds. Nuketown is an unforgiving map with very limited high round options. Within a few minutes of spinning the box, I got the Mark 1 and just put my head down to get through the rest of the match. Unfortunately, however, my second down came on round 40 where I kinda screwed myself over by sleepwalking too close to my horde, and the newly spawned zombies did the rest of the job. Good thing I changed my controller bindings though, since without the monkeys I probably would have game overed here. Another down on round 42 was really bad because now I don't have any quick revives and there's a lot of game left to play. I was able to hold out for a few more rounds until a 46 where I got stuck on the same rock as my first down and lost the match. Still no rank up though, which is genuinely starting to annoy me, and I feel like something's wrong. Right after that Nuketown game, I jumped into a town match where I went to round 20 as quickly as possible, took it down, and ended the game. Still no rank up. I did it again, no rank up once again. Then I went to round 25 and ended the game one more time. This time I actually did rank up to the knife, which is great. I'll probably reach max rank in only a few more matches. I played for another few hours, playing like 3 more matches before going to bed because it was almost 4 AM. When I woke up and turned on my stream to hopefully have a cool moment of finishing this long challenge together, I noticed something really weird. I had somehow in less than a day without playing a single match deranked the skull, and upon looking further at my old footage, it appears as if data from my profile had straight up disappeared. I went from having 28,000 kills to 21,000, and looking back even more than that, this wasn't even the first time it had actually happened. My Origins match by itself had 21,500 kills, let alone all the other games that I had played on top of this. What the hell? How had I not noticed this, and how is it even possible? I've actually never seen this before. And I'm sorry to disappoint, but I played for another day after this and I couldn't even get back to the knife rank no matter what I did. Something is really wrong with my account. I should be max ranked by now. If you did enjoy the video, then you'll like this one appearing on screen right now. It's my no purchase challenge on Die Rise, which was way harder than I ever expected.